Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Mentoring Men podcast. It's so cool you're here watching us live here at the Facebook group, The Mentoring Men. My name is Maurice, and I'm here with my good friend, John.
Hey,
John,
Maurice,
how
how
are you,
you
man?
doing? How's everybody doing today?
Awesome, man. How's the life in the Floridas?
Beautiful sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. It's only about maybe 70 degrees, no humidity. It's beautiful.
Great,
Beautiful.
man. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thankfully, we made it today. Last week we had some things going on. You weren't feeling so well. I had some difficulties with the stream, so I put in out the rerun from the show from last November. But now we are here live again. And if you want to join the show, you can just put in your comments down in the comment section, and I'll pop it up on the screen. And today we're going to talk about if goal setting is actually enough, because we hear that a lot, right? In personal development, you have to create goals, you have to shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you reach the stars. You have to create big goals, you have to be audacious, and all these things, really focusing so much on goal setting. But there's a problem with goals. They're not real. They're not now. They're not in the present. They're just some projection to somewhere in the future. So, like, yeah, of course, I can set my goal just like in my NAV set, right? I can set my goal where I want to go to. So you have like this vision of where you want to go to, but then what? I mean, how do you get there, right? I mean, just programming it in your NAV set doesn't get you there. You need to do something. So is goal setting enough? John, tell me, is goal setting enough, or do I need
Not
something
even,
else?
not even close to enough. Because the problem is when you have this big grandiose dream, this big goal, it feels great to have that. You'll put the vision board up with the big marble mansion on the beach, or the gigantic log cabin in the mountains, or the Maserati or the Ferrari, or whatever the goal is. But you forgot the steps you need to take to get there. So
Yeah.
it's not the big goal that matters. It's the little goals. My father used to tell me, he used to try to teach me this lesson when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, and I just didn't want to listen to him. I never learned this lesson until very recently, like the past
Okay.
year. And the goal is this. The lesson is this. If you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves.
Okay.
So what's
Interesting.
the big thing? The big thing is the goal, the thing that you want, right? But there's little baby steps that you have to take to get there. You have to
Right.
stay up an hour later than you would normally every night to read or to write or to do something to make your business work. Okay? Something that you have to do. You have to get up a half an hour early if you want to learn how to meditate. Get up
Yeah.
a half an hour early and practice every day. And
Yeah.
another part of another little goal is consistency. Be consistent. Do it
Yeah.
every day. Turn it into a habit to the point where it's not even, you don't even have to think about doing it anymore. It's just part of your daily routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to map out the steps. Tony Robbins has something called RPM. It's the rapid planning method,
Yeah.
where you take the goal and then you take the steps that you're going to do to make that goal happen. And then you come up with the plan as to how you're going to do those steps. And
Yeah.
they're called smart goals, right? You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
smart.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay.
Measurable, etc.
Specific, measurable, achievable, SMAR,
Yeah. Realistic.
realistic, and T is timeline. Put a
Yeah.
timeline on it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have
Eh,
this big marble mansion in 10 years. That's
right.
probably achievable. I want to have this big marble mansion in 6 months. Probably not achievable. So you got to
Right.
really think about these goals, how you want to break them down. And then there's something called chunking. You got all these little different pieces. What all you got 100 different things that you have to do to achieve the goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you can maybe five of them are money goals, right? So you take these five money things, you put them in one chunk over here.
Yeah. I've done project management, right? So that's where you learn about goal setting and getting from A to B, right?
Mm-hmm.
and SMART goals and all the acronyms. It's out there in, but it and they're all great, and they're all beautiful frameworks, right, to make it noticeable that you can actually, okay, so if I set a goal, it has to be measurable, because then I can measure the result. It has to be realistic, so I don't, just fantasize in the world. But the problem with all of this, all these strategic and or tactical things, is that it's missing one crucial thing. And that is, in my opinion, intention. Intention is what makes something which is in the future, your goals, right? Your future goals, the things that you, either big or small, doesn't matter. A goal is not now. A goal is saying, in a certain amount of time, I will achieve this. It's a future projection. While the intention is setting you up right now to make it happen, right? So I think it's crucial that you don't only have your goals and you know which way you want to go, and they can be big or small, doesn't matter. But the intention has to be there to make yourself actionable and go do it, right? Because otherwise it's just a fantasy. It's nothing like you're really going for. So a goal without an intention is just a fantasy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you do want to set an intention every day that I'm going to do a half an hour of something towards that goal.
And that makes it consistent, and that makes it that you do it, and that you get up in half an hour to meditate and do all the things, the little steps to get to the big steps. I love what your dad taught you, right? Take the little steps so the big one will
when you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? If you it's something that Robin Sharma also teaches, right? If you have a happy day every day, you lead a happy life, because every day leads to a happy week, and happy weeks leads to happy months, and happy months lead to happy years, and happy years leads to a happy life. So if you do it from small steps, you create something big. And people underestimate what they can achieve in a year, but they how do you say this?
Underestimate what they can achieve in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So but we also don't. I mean, SMART goals. You don't want to start with SMART goals. You want to start with unsmart goals, goals that are not measurable, that never have been done, that scare you, where you have no idea how you're going to achieve them, and totally not realistic. You're also a Mind Valley fan, right? So what I've learned from Vishen Lakhiani there is the so-called 3 MIQ, the three major or the most important questions. And the most important question, I actually got them right here where I can see them every day. It's based on three pillars. So what are the experiences you want to create? What are the growth areas you want to focus on? And what are the areas you want to contribute in? And those are all big picture parts, right? It's something you have for yourself as your vision. It is literally a vision. And that makes it into goals, right? If you can get from being a visionary person to goal-setting person with the intention to do it every day, then there will happen something, right? It cannot not be done.
I forgot who it was who said this, that if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I actually learned that from Naveed something. I did this course in Mind Valley, I think it was, and there was
the coaching program with Naveed.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure what this program was called, but sorry, it was really about, you need to think, instead of setting your ultimate vision goals, right, in such a way that it will scare you. And that's how people make changes that no one ever made. It's how Elon Musk operates. It's how Richard Branson has always operated, right? It is how even Steve Jobs created something. Like, I want this. I don't know how I'm going to get it. I'm going to create a team. I'm going to find people to help me, but this is what I want. I want people to have a audio player in their pocket where they can have a library of 10,000 songs. That's how the iPod came to work, right?
Right.
I want to combine the iPod with this old Nokia. I want to have a phone that becomes smart. Those are big picture ideas, getting people to Mars. And it's funny because my dad is also a visionary guy, but he's also in the winter of his life, so he is in a different mindset than I am, and we often have this discussion about my goals or things like that from Elon Musk, and he says it's totally crazy. This guy, he has no idea how is he going to do that? Does he realize how much of resources he needs, and do you realize how long it takes to get from Earth to Mars, and that's generations, and how are you going to do that? And it doesn't matter. The how is not in question with the big picture goals. The how is in a matter of the small steps you want to take. So but there it starts not even with the how, but with the what. What am I going to do, or what do I need to do today to get to my step for tomorrow?
I was watching a podcast. I'm lying. I was watching a video on YouTube recently on with who was it? Simon Sinek, and he was talking about he was in New York City for a run with a friend of his, with some roadrunners club, and they jogged through Central Park and stuff. And afterwards, there's usually some vendor there giving away stuff for free. And this particular day it was bagels,
Right?
And they saw just a line of people for bagels, right? And he kept going back and forth with his friend. I want to get a bagel. Yeah, but the line's too long. Yeah, but they're free bagels. Oh, the line's too long. And he realized in that moment, this is what he said. He said, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's the people who see what they want, and there's the people who see everything that's preventing them from getting what they want.
Yeah.
You were just talking about Elon Musk. How? Who the hell knows how? This is what I want.
It's totally irrelevant for such big goals. Yeah.
But you know what? It's the point of it is, if it's really what you want, there's another factor involved here, which is belief.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you can do it?
I think it was Einstein also who said, don't listen to pessimists, because they will always find a problem for your solution.
That's yes.
Right. And that's exactly that.
I love that one.
Yeah,
I really do.
And it's exactly that. And a lot of people are like that, in modern day world. And that's just how the world is, I guess. A lot of people do only see the problems of reality, and that's what I think is the problem with the reality, that we think it is so much, influencing on the future. And I think when we can make the shift from changing the reality of the now, of the present moment, of the present day, and disconnect it from what I want in the future, but only see it as a mirroring reflection of what you did in the past, which is just what it is, right? Reality is a reflection of your past. The fact that I live in this apartment is because I decided in the past to rent this apartment, right?
Right.
The reason I'm wearing this white shirt is because I decided this morning to wear a white shirt, right? It says nothing about what kind of shirt I'm wearing tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's reality. But we think reality is just something we can't influence, and we just have to accept as it is. If I want to change my shirt, I'm going to change my shirt, right? I can change my reality. But I have to take the action. And I have to take the action. I have to vision myself into the future, what I want. And that is why goal setting is so important. But if you don't have the intention to do it, nothing's going to happen. Then it is, finding the excuses why you shouldn't, or why you can't, or things like that.
And I think part of the problem is the size of the vision, the size of the dream. I can go change my shirt right now, but what actions do I have to take? I have to physically get up out of this chair. I have to take the shirt off, go over to my dresser, find out new shirts, put it on. Yeah. So there's 4 or 5 steps that I have to do.
You're forgetting to turn off your camera first.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to. Yeah, no, you don't want to see that. You'll need therapy. But there's 4 or 5 action steps that I have to take to change this shirt. But when the dreams get big, those action steps become scary.
Yeah.
And that fear is what holds you back. Now, think about this for a minute. For all you people who are listening, Maurice knows this, but for you guys who are watching, you may not know this. A coach like me and Maurice is a professional visionary. Follow me on this for a minute. If you are my client and there's something that you want to accomplish in your life, chances are you're struggling because you don't believe you can do it yet. But this is where the coach comes in, because I can hold that vision for you until I teach you how to hold it for yourself. That's what a professional visionary is. That's what a coach does. So we take these big, grandiose dreams that you have, and we break them down into bite-sized pieces that you can actually manage. And once you start to see progress, and the wheels turn slowly at first, but once you start to see progress and you build up a little momentum and a little bit of steam, hey, wait a minute, what else can I do? And then you start to take off. This is what we do. This is what we love to do.
Absolutely. And you know, that's what I love about Esther and Abraham Hicks, or Esther Hicks and Abraham, where they talk about this, that as human beings, we only see reality with our senses. So we see the world as it is, and that's how we have proof that it works, right? So if you want to lose weight and you don't see it on the scale, you're not believing that you can lose the weight, because reality shows you something, right? But that's all fucked up. It's not how it works. And we have to learn, if you want to make a change, if you want to learn how to make easy changes, you have to learn how to disconnect from that reality picture and create the belief first, right? I believe it before I see it, instead of I see it before I believe it. You have to believe it first to see it. And again, goal setting is part of it, because goal setting is the seeing part, right? Is the believing part, the seeing part, the seeing in your believing. That is the future. And making the steps towards it is the steps you have to believe are the right steps to do it. But you're not sure, because you don't know.
Because you've never done it before, and you're going to make mistakes. So just do something different. There's no such thing as failure, guys.
No.
Failure, if you get one word out of your vocabulary, is the word failure. All failure is, well, it's two things. One, it's a thought that you just constantly repeat in your head, like success. Some people are successful because they've chosen that word, okay? It's really that simple. The other thing is, what you call failure is just something that doesn't work. Think about what Thomas Edison did. It took him 10,000 tries to get a light bulb to work.
Yeah.
And his assistant, there's a story about this, his assistant said to him, you keep failing. Why do you keep doing this? He said, I haven't failed. I just found another way that doesn't work. And he kept going until he found the way that did work.
Yeah.
You know, but part of this goal setting is part of this goal setting thing is coming to accepting the fact that there's a difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification. You step on that scale, you've been dieting for 2 days. You step on that scale and you haven't lost 10 pounds. You want instant gratification. It doesn't work that way. Because it took you 50 years of sitting on the couch eating a half a pint of Haagen-Dazs every night to get those extra 40 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen in 2 days. You got to learn delayed gratification. But you also have to understand that you can celebrate the small little wins towards that goal.
Absolutely.
All this stuff adds up.
It's absolutely the problem in modern society, that people want to do stuff but don't want to learn stuff, right?
Right.
I want to know how to play tennis at a high level. I want to know how to fix my exams. But, you know, the thing is, that is how our schooling system is working. In school, they don't teach you the process of how to learn what you need to learn. They say to you, this is going to be the test, this is going to be the exam, and you need to know this. And if you know this, then you'll succeed. So the only goal is to print that in your mind, what you need to know, so then you'll know, right? No, then you'll pass the test. That's something different. And we don't learn how to make that progress, how to study for 10 years playing a piano so you can play the piano. But the joy of playing piano is not something you will have in 10 years. It is every time you practice playing the piano, that is the joy moment. But that's hard.
Absolutely.
And I know
Absolutely.
it's hard because I'm in that process right now. I told about it previously, I guess. Um, I started a new job because I wasn't making enough money with my coaching business. That makes me feel I failed. And I'm teaching this stuff, right? So I know it's not about that, but it still feels like that
Yes.
because that is something that I have learned in my 48 years in life, right? If you have a goal and you don't succeed in the goal, you fail, whether it being an exam, a test, something in sports, whatever it is. If you don't get what you want, you have failed. And so it takes time. That's a learning process as well. That takes time. That takes time for me as well, right? And thanks for John and for friends and for everyone that I talk to about things like this. And this actually also helps, right? Me talking about it. It's also something I teach myself, talking to myself. That
Absolutely.
it
But
is
you
not.
didn't fail.
I didn't fail. No. And I didn't give up, right? Because the real moment of failure is the moment you give up.
It's
Because
when you give up.
then you don't succeed, because then you'll stop trying, right?
Right. You're funny. You were talking about that, about the way the schools, what they teach you, right?
Yeah.
This is my problem with schools, and this is just me talking. They teach you what to think. They don't teach you how to think.
Most
Now,
schools. Yeah.
most schools are like that, but my boys are in a charter. Sorry, they're not in a charter school. They're in a classical education school. My boys
Okay.
are 10. They're in fifth grade. They're learning Latin, for God's sakes. I didn't even know Latin. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's more than Latin. It's they're teaching them how to think. And there are these 7 pillars that this school has. And I don't know what they all are, but self-governance, honesty, compassion, empathy. These are all pillars that this
Right.
school teaches this stuff. So this school is teaching my boys not just what to think, but how to think.
Yeah.
And I reached out to this is the truth. I didn't even get a chance to tell you this yet. I reached out to the principal of the school. I'm volunteering to give a presentation to the teachers. Eventually, I'd like to talk to the students, but I want to give a presentation to the teachers because
Yeah.
everything that we're teaching about personal growth and development falls right in line with those 7 pillars. I
Right.
couldn't
Yeah.
imagine what could happen to these fifth graders, sixth, seventh graders. These kids who are 10, 11, 12 years old. This school goes up to the end of high school, goes up to 12th grade. So let's say 18. Okay.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they had this knowledge in their head that there is no such thing as failure,
No.
that it's about breaking this. Oh my God, it's overwhelming, but you can break it down into easier, smaller steps. That there's a way around it. There's a way to find this.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what could happen in 20 years from now if these kids are armed with this stuff now? The stuff that took us 50 years to learn.
Yeah.
And that's one of the beautiful things that I love. And that's what I want to do. So, but as
Do
a
that- don't- don't-
coach, we can teach you this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do, right? We go. For me, coaching is 2 things. It's teaching and it's mentoring, and that together is coaching you, helping you towards something you want. So I'll teach you all this stuff. We'll teach you all this stuff. We'll let you have the knowledge, but having the knowledge is not enough. You need to apply the knowledge,
You need
and
to do
with
something
that,
with it.
yeah, and with that, that's where the coaching comes in, right? That's where we can steer you in directions and support you in directions. But absolutely true. Now, going back to the school system, what you're telling about is very fascinating. I've been through my own schooling system here, which is kind of like that. So I'm not sure if it's the same foundational principles. It's coming from Rudolf Steiner here he actually is a German from Switzerland, living in Switzerland, and it's the anthroposophic way of thinking, and it's kind of like the same principle. But we still had tests, right? We still had things we need to do and get to a certain result. So this whole goal setting thing, we've never learned really how to set the right types of goals.
Right.
And I think it's also because society isn't programmed like that, right? Maybe you'll hear it in school that you're free to think and set your own goals and think big and create that way of thinking. But in regular day life, right, there comes this question. So what are you going to do next? What you going to go to college, right? What you going to study? Because what do you want to be? And if you're 12 years old and you get this question, you have no clue what you want to be, right? I didn't. I still hadn't till I was 39.
Hey, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. But
No,
damn it, I'm not going to grow up.
but it'll change, right? It can change, of course, because I didn't even know about things that I'm doing right now that it could be a profession, right? But there's always this principle of you have to do the hard work. It has to be difficult. You have to suffer for getting where you want to be, and that is absolutely bullshit.
Absolutely. They teach
Sometimes you
you
have to do
do
things.
to be.
Yeah, yeah,
We say
yeah.
switch it around. Be and then do.
Exactly. And when you be and then do, it becomes it's flawless, it's easy,
Yes.
right? Then
Yes,
it
because
becomes
it's
like
who you are.
effortless.
There's no effort.
Exactly. And people don't often understand this. I had this discussion with my brother a couple of years ago when I was doing my coaching work, etc., and we were talking about the weekend and this principle TGIF, right? Thank God it's Friday. If you are on a Friday, every Friday, thinking, finally, it's weekend. Wow, another week survived. You're doing the wrong job. You're in the wrong job,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't have to mean that you don't want to spend some free time or don't want to have some relaxing, leisure time. But if you want to live from week to week to week, from weekend to weekend to weekend, and you're bummed that it's Sunday evening and the weekend's already gone. Where did the time go? You're in the wrong job because you're not going with the flow. You're going against the flow, right?
Yes.
Because it has to be hard. It has to be difficult. You have to suffer. You have to grind and everything like that.
So what is it that lights you up? What is it that not Maurice, I'm asking everybody, just general statement. What is it that brings you joy? What is it that brings you fulfillment? Because there's something else that I know. When your passion becomes your profession, you will never work another day in your life. I love being a coach. This is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Am I a millionaire? Not yet. Maybe I'll get there, but I'm fulfilled professionally. It's not about the goal. It's about, am I happy where I am in this moment? Can I continue to be happy on the road to that goal?
Yeah.
I'm
Happiness
thrilled
is
with
never
what
in
I
the
do.
future. Yeah.
I say that again. I didn't hear you.
Happiness is never in the future.
No, it's now. It's right now.
Right. So thinking about when this happened, then I will be happy, or then I will succeed. No, it's the now. You have to feel happy now. You have to feel successful now. You have to feel and be who you are now to get where you want to be. Now,
Be, then do.
exactly what you just said. If you have this passion and you can spend your time all day long on that and do what you love, then you'll never have to work again. A good friend of mine, she's a very, very talented musician. So she went to, the music academy because she has a great voice. She can sing beautiful. She can play the piano and guitar. She's really talented. And what do they teach you there? They don't teach you how to love music. They broke it down into analytical, non-philosophical, non-emotional bullshit. And after 6 months, she was like, I didn't sign up for this because now I hate piano playing and I hate playing the guitar because it's all being analyzed till shit, right? So she didn't proceed with her music, her passion in music, in her job or as her career view, right? And that's something that's so horrible to hear that things like that happen, because a schooling system shouldn't break your passion down, right? Not even in a bit. I like music. I love singing. I love playing the piano, guitar, etc. as well. I love playing theatrical things like acting, things like that. And do I want to make it my profession? No, because I know that I'll be playing 300 times the Lion King, right? And that's not fun for me. So that's not what I want. But I do work as a consultant, or I do work as a coach where I help people, entertain them. I can create a podcast where I can do that, right? And if you create a podcast or a show or a YouTube program, you can create it. You can make money with that. So you can make it into your, business or whatever you want. But don't get so much hang up on what other people tell you how it is supposed to be, because you have to feel it in the now. And the goal, what you have, has nothing to do with what other people think, because other people will not understand you. When I tell my dad about my future goals, my big goals, he looks at me like, how are you ever going to do that? And I'll say, I don't know. That's just dumb.
And we've talked about this before. Forget how. You need to know what you want, and more importantly, why you want it. When you get that right, how happens. So forget the how. But
small steps.
What other people think of me is none of my damn business.
No,
but the only person that I have to be happy with is me.
Yeah.
So can I be happy with me, with where my life is right now, and actually appreciate where I am right now, even if it's not where you want to be? But can you appreciate where you are right now and all the shit that you went through and you survived it and you lived to tell the tale?
Even when you're in the shit, can you?
Even when you're in the shit, you're in the shit, can you still love you? Can you still appreciate?
Yeah, I had to appreciate that I had €7.50 in my bank account. And I knew rent was coming up. And that's not enough. That's not even enough to buy dinner, right? Or to go out on a date. But you have to appreciate it, because you can buy a lot of things from $7.50, right? There are a lot of things you can buy for $7.50. You can buy 3 beers. You can, or maybe now not in these days, but let's say 2 beers, or you can buy a very big scale of salmon, or you can buy a leaf of bread and some chocolate paste, and there are a lot of things you can buy for that.
Sure.
So appreciate what you have, even if you know that it's not enough for what you want in everything, right? In everything that's going in. Don't worry about that when you have what you have.
And also recognize the fact that, and recognize with a little bit of love in your heart that there's people who have less than you.
That's
people
exactly
who work
what
than you are. So you got something to be thankful for.
Absolutely. I was going on a job interview. I had to take the train, so I went to the station, and there was this homeless guy, and he asked me if I had some spare money. Now, I had some 50-cent coin or whatever in my pocket, so I gave it to him. And that's when it hit me. I realized this guy has even less than I have, right?
Right.
He doesn't even have clean clothes to go to an interview, right?
Yeah.
So what am I complaining about? Really?
Things like that, an experience like that, when you would attach an emotion to it, it'll create a realization for you.
Absolutely.
And 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when, Maurice, you're a multimillionaire with success beyond your wildest dreams, you're going to drive past somebody who's homeless with his hand out looking for a 50-cent piece, and you're going to remember what you did that day.
Well, actually, that has already happened in that way.
Yeah,
I'm not a millionaire. That part didn't happen yet, but the realization, after my divorce, I lost my home, and thankfully my parents were there, right? So I could live with them. Otherwise, I would have been homeless. So the fear of being homeless has been there before, and so I decided a couple of years ago, we have in Holland this tradition of having parties with Santa Claus. So I dress up as Santa Claus, and I rent myself to companies, stores, malls, whatever. So I make some extra money in the December times, and I give. Now, of course, I have to pay for the suit and the makeup and everything, so that's being done. But everything that I earn with it, I spend it on people on the street. So I just go to this guy and say, dude, how can I help? What do you need? And there was this guy who said, I need just a can of Coke. I said, no, I mean, like, really, it's cold. Do you have something warm to wear, or do you need new shoes or what. So we go buy new shoes. So we bought a blanket for him that he has something, warm to sleep under. Things like that. And that is what matters, right?
How did it make
Especially,
you feel to be able to do that, to be in a position where you were able to help somebody who was in need?
well, that's the double side sword there. I was doing it because I wanted to help them, and they felt great. And I felt goosebumps coming up the moment they thanked me for doing that for them, because no one ever done that, blah, blah, blah. But it made me feel guilty that I felt that, because it made me feel good. So I was thinking, for who am I really doing this? Is it because I want to help them? Or do I do this because I want to help them so I feel good? Right?
There's nothing
And
wrong with wanting to feel good about doing something.
no,
There's nothing wrong with
of course.
taking pride in helping somebody.
Of course. But that's the guilt we've been taught as well in
We've been
our
taught.
system, that, helping out people, what do I get from it? Right? It's always this serendipity of, I do something for you so you can do something for me. But the love for people, the unconditional love for someone else, we don't teach that. We don't learn that, right? We have that hopefully from your family or your parents at least. But your partner, your life partner, you should have a unconditional love to him or her. And that's tough, because how that would mean that if they wouldn't want to proceed with you, that doesn't matter. You would still love them.
Well, look, I've told this story 1,000 times already. Even though my ex and I are divorced and we can't, be in a room for 10 minutes together, I will always love her because she gave me the greatest gift any woman could ever give a man. She gave me my kids, and I am forever grateful to her for that.
That's a condition. That's a condition.
It's
You
not a
connect.
condition. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't love me for
No,
being the father of the kid.
No. It's a condition. You connect to her because she gave her your kids. The kids are the condition you connect to her, loving her. But
It's still
even
a
if she
sincere
wouldn't have
feeling.
gave you, no, it's not. The unconditional love is really having no condition, like nothing.
Well,
I love.
that's what contribution is. Contribution is willing to give without expecting anything in return. That's the true definition of contribution.
Mhm.
If I do for you so you can do for me, that's a transaction.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
But that's like 99.99999% of what we do as human beings.
And I love the fact that you and I can disagree about some things, because I got to tell you, I don't consider it anything other than, honestly, sincere
I get it.
appreciation for her giving me my kids.
I don't want to discuss
Oh, no,
that
no,
at
we're not
all.
good. No,
Right?
that's all good. It's all good. We're going to get
It's
into it right here live. No, we're
no,
not. No,
I'm gonna go to Florida and I'm gonna kick your ass. No, that's,
come on down.
we'll have a beer first. But the thing is, what I wanted to emphasize is the definition of the things. Unconditional means no condition at all, even not a condition like having kids with her. So that is, that's the condition. Because
True.
other women who didn't give you children, you don't love. So there's a condition to the love you gave to her, because the
Ah, I
moment
see
you
what you're
say,
saying. Okay.
I love her because, then the because is the condition, right? That's what I mean.
I get you. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. No, I get that. That makes
The only
sense.
the only condition you could have there, like my parents love me because I'm their child, right? That is unconditional, because whatever I do, how much I screw up life or things or whatever I tell them, they will still love me. The condition, the love you have for your kids is unconditional. It doesn't matter what they do or what they will do. It's a little bit of a tomato
It's
tomato.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but when we kind of got off the subject of goals here, but
Yeah.
actually we really didn't. We really didn't, because
No.
do you want to? What is a goal? Is a goal to feel unconditional love for everybody? So
I
when
don't
you
know.
set this goal, think about this for a minute. We started talking about unconditional love for people, which is a beautiful, beautiful goal, and it's something I hope we can all accomplish in this world one day. I really do believe that. But then you start to think about, What does that mean? What steps do I have to take to feel unconditional love for other people?
Well,
Stop
let's start
using,
with the unconditional love for ourselves. Let's start with that.
start there. Yes, absolutely. Start there. I
Yeah.
totally agree. And that goes back to what we were talking about before is, can you be happy now? Can you be
Yeah.
fulfilled now while you're still on the road to getting the thing that you want? Can
Right.
you can you love yourself now? Can you be love where you are?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Even
so
though you
this kind of
think you
went off the
feel,
rails, but it came right back on again. I like this.
it's all connected. Everything is
That's
connected.
the
So
way it
it's all
works with
coming
us.
back to the same things. Absolutely. And the matter of the fact is that the moment you feel this unconditional love for yourself, that even though you feel you've failed, you feel that you do not live up to the expectations of the world or whatever it is, you have this inner self being of accepting who you are. I don't know if I told you this before, but when I was in my teens, like 15, 16 years old, and I was like trying to discover the feminine world, right? How does it all work? I remember my mom told me, you just have to be yourself. And I was like, what a screwed up idea is that? I mean, I am myself, but I don't know how to get these women. I don't know what to do. I'm showing up as myself, and they don't like me because whatever it is. I don't know why, but they don't like me. I don't have girlfriends. I because I am ugly. I have this eye problem. I have blah blah whatever I thought it was, right? So I was thinking, being myself is not who I should be to be accepted by the society. And that screwed up my teen years, right? And even my 20s and maybe even into my 30s. So
But
when
think
I
about this. You didn't even know who you were yet then.
no, of course not. Of course not. I was in my first moment. You start realizing who you might be. But when I got out of my divorce and I learned about dating and everything about seduction, things like that, I was like, shit, my mom was right. You have to just be yourself. And if you are yourself, then everything will be okay. So that love of yourself, that being okay with who you are, that unconditional love of me, of I am, is where everything starts. Now, that if that is in line, if that's okay, then you can say, now I go to my goals. I have this goal. I want this Ferrari, or I want this job, or I want this home, or I want to reach so many people in the world. I want to help so many people. I want to, whatever big, your real big ass goal is, that's your goal. And now let's start with the intention. Why? Why do you want to do it? And what are the little goals you're going to do today so you can get your new set goals for tomorrow? Like again, intention is what makes goals reality. A
Mhm.
goal without an intention is just a fantasy because a goal is always in the future and that's not real. The only thing is real is the present, and that's where you have your intentions. And again, Abraham Hicks, she talks about this as well. She has this technique called segment intending. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm recording this podcast now with you. That is a segment of my day, right? So I have an intention in this segment to do certain things, to talk about certain things, to think a certain way, to act a certain way. That's my intention. After this, I have to do my dishes. So I have another intention. That's another segment of the day that I have to create other intention on, right? If you connect your day or you split up your day into these settings, these intentions, these segments, could be 30 segments in a day or more. Doesn't matter. Every part of your day is a different segment. There you have your intentions. And those intentions will help you get the job done,
And
right?
there are, yes, and you're absolutely right. And there are things that you're not going to like doing
Yeah.
that you have to do to get to this goal. So here's a thought. Let's throw this out there. What if you set the intention that in the morning when you get up, you'll do the things that you don't like to do first? Get them done, out of the way, and over with. One, you got it done, out of the way, and over with. It's a check in the win column.
Yeah. None
Now,
of
the
your,
rest of the day, you can spend focusing on the things you really like to do.
yeah.
And you're not worrying about, shit, I still have to do this. Or whether it's, let's just say it's balancing the books. I don't know,
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever it is. I hate balancing the books. Do it
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. Get it done. Get it over with. It's out of the way. Focus on the stuff that you like. You set the intention. You got the you got the shit out of the way, and now I can go forward with a great attitude. I'm
Yeah.
ready for it.
Again, that's the gratification, right? The
Yeah,
how do you call it? The
instant gratification and delayed
yeah,
gratification.
right, that one. Yeah, there's actually this psychological test with children they do. If you have a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, they can predict how successful he or she will be when he or she grows up. You give her a marshmallow, and you say, "Okay, so you can have this marshmallow now, or you have to wait 5 minutes, and I'll get you another marshmallow." And then you leave the room with just this one marshmallow. The ones that are able from out their nature, this 4-year-old brain that has nothing programmed yet, right? That's just this full being aware. If he or she decides to wait till you come back to have two, those ones will be more likely to be successful in life than the ones that go for the instant gratification and think, well, fuck it, I'll have my marshmallow right now. I was that one, right?
Yeah.
So I was like that. I am like that. I like instant gratification as anyone else. So I have to train myself. I have trained myself to create this mindset to change that. Because I am a believer that this scientific research is true. So that's my belief. But I also have this belief that I can change my beliefs. Right? So
Right.
let's do that. Let's change then that belief that the instant gratification is more valuable than the gratification that is being delayed. Because, and it's logical, right? Our brain does not predict the future gratification you'll have. It only can predict what it will lose when you're not doing it.
Right. And just think about this for a minute. You got to really be careful about what words you say, about what it is that you say. You really got to be careful about this because your subconscious mind is listening.
Absolutely.
So just put the things in there. You know what? I got this. This is a done deal. I've accomplished this goal, and your subconscious mind will eventually find a way to help you achieve that goal. But you got to start believing. You got to set the intention. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Because your brain, your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind is listening.
Yeah.
And you are where you are right now, wherever that is, because of things that you said in the past. Your brain was listening. So if you want to be somewhere else, change the things you're telling your brain.
Yeah. We have around 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. That's something that's going on the internet around that should be true. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't counted them. But 99% of these thoughts are the same you have yesterday, right? We all know this principle. So be very aware of the thoughts you have, you actually have, creating the awareness. That's, why it's good to talk about this, to teach people about self-development, personal development, to read a lot. If you read new stuff from new people, if you meet new people like Stephanie McPherson.
Stephanie McPherson's on board. Delicious. What's going on, girl?
The awesome thing is that since we've met, there are things you can teach each other. You can direct people towards. So I meet new people. I learn about new insights, and that will teach me more awareness of things. So being aware creates the principle that I can choose to have an intention in a certain area. If you don't know, you don't know what you don't know, right? So and there's more you don't know than you do know. But yeah. So yeah, intention, guys and girls, again, I'm saying it again. Goals without an intention are just fantasies.
Yes.
They become goals when you have an intention to make the first step today, tomorrow, and keep the consistency to make it work. And then we have this beautiful lesson from John's dad, who says, if you want to reach the big goals, make sure you hit the little goals, and the big goals will.
When you pay attention to when you pay attention to the little things, the big things take care of themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope this helped. I hope this brought something new for you, some new insights for you that you can work with, that you can spend time on. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, just shoot it out in a message somewhere on the platform, or just a DM to us, whatever. Doesn't matter. We read all the comments, everything we see there. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, just let us know and we'll get into that. Now we also, since Stephanie is here, have this great new thing we can share with you guys as well. That we've set a date with Stephanie to have Steph on the show, and we're going to interview her because she's an amazing woman. She has a lot of experience and things to share. You've also seen her live show on the platform as well, of course, the other day where you, John, was on the show. I thought it was. So yeah, cool things happening here at the Mentoring Man. If you have ideas, suggestions, whatever it is, just shoot us a message and we'll get into that. So thank you so much for watching. John, is there anything you want to share to that?
I think it was April 17th is the date that we have Stephanie coming on live.
Yeah.
I want to verify the date. April 17th, 2:00. Guys, be here. Stephanie is an amazing human being, heart of gold. She's a powerhouse. She's hilarious. And she's going to teach you guys. So stay tuned.
Absolutely.
April 17th. Mark it down, guys. And we'll see you next Sunday. Same time, same place.
Same place.
Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And this is the awkward silence. Hold on. Yeah, there it goes.